match number 4. Let's start the match in 3, 2, 1, go.
And here we go with our second autonomous on field number 2. Looks like we've got these spots moving and a few cones are being knocked over. But not to worry, these robots are not slowing down in this autonomous period. They are going fully remotely operated, trying to score as many of those cones on those high junctions as possible, and hopefully ending up in the right zone at the end of the autonomous period with only 10 seconds left in the autonomous. These robots are trying to score as much as they can, and it looks like the Red Alliance is competing with the Blue Alliance for this center upper junction, 6133 and 14212. All right, looks like we had 2 good parks potentially from that autonomous period. As we go right into the driver-controlled period, these teams are going to start loading those cones as fast as they can with their driver-controlled robot periods, as well as the human players doing their job to load cones into their terminals as fast as they possibly can. Looks like in this match we've got a lot of fighting over these upper junctions here. There's a lot of competition. Remember, whoever's cone by the end of the game is on the top of the junction, owns that junction, and gets some extra points at the end of the match. And those are also vital because these upper cones are all but required if you want to complete a circuit at the end of the game. And also, of course, who can forget that they are worth the most points, 5 points for each cone in these upper junctions, which is why these teams are competing so heavily against them. In fact, it looks like right now we got the Blue Alliance making a lot of motion around. 12599 is out here overcharged, trying to score on some of the lower junctions. Looks like they're going to be aiming to complete a circuit later on in the game, if possible. Red Alliance, though, is trying not to let them have that. We've got their partners, 71, 72 technical difficulties, aiming ever so slowly, aiming for that ground junction, because to score a complete circuit at the end of the game, you're going to want robots scoring in those ground junctions. But it looks like they might be having some, pardon the pun, technical difficulties. Never mind, they are back working again. We've got 12599, of course, working alongside the nuts against each other. Looks like we've got almost a symmetrical one cone red, 1 cone blue on this center here, stacking as high as they can with only 10 seconds left at the beginning of the end game. It's going to be up for these teams to continue loading their beacons and start claiming those final junctions, hoping to complete a circuit for the end game and parking in the proper areas. Now we've got the beginning of the end game. You can see these robots are immediately grabbing their own special team beacons to do a permanent cap. 2599 here, scoring a cap on one of the high junctions, and their partners 14212 also scoring a cap on one of those junctions. It looks like they may be able to complete a circuit if they're lucky, but it looks like there's a little bit of defensive play from the nuts here, 6133, and they're scoring one of their junctions using their beacon. Unfortunately, technical difficulty seems to still not be moving, but hopefully they'll be able to pick up with only 2-1. Unfortunately not, because that is the end of match 4. Good job, team.